Hello and welcome to this podcast on Ind AS 41 Agriculture.
Today, we are going to explore one of the most unique and fascinating accounting standards, the only one that deals directly with living assets.
That's right. Agricultural accounting is unlike any other area because biological assets grow, transform, and change values continuously. This makes Ind AS 41 both interesting and challenging.
In this podcast, our goal is simple to explain Ind AS in a clear, practical, and conversational way, supported by real world examples.
So let's begin with the basics. What exactly does Ind AS 41 require?
It deals with accounting of biological assets, that is, living plants and animals, except bearer plants. It also deals with how agricultural produce must be measured at the time of harvest and how government grants related to these assets should be recognized, all at fair value less cost sell.
So this standard is built around biological transformation, the idea that living assets change over time.
The objective of the Ind AS 41 is clear to ensure biological assets and agricultural produce are measured consistently, recognized appropriately, and reported transparently.
And importantly, this standard does not deal with the post harvest processing. For example, grapes turning into wine or sugarcane turning into sugar. Those fall under Ind AS 2.
Exactly. Ind AS 41 focuses purely on biological growth and harvesting, not on manufacturing.
So, what's excluded from this standard?
Quite a few things actually. Land used for agriculture, bearer plants, intangible assets, leased agricultural land, government grants related to bearer plants, all of these fall under different Ind AS standards.
This avoids overlap and ensures each asset class follows its correct accounting treatment. What are the core concepts we need to understand?
Agricultural activity means managing biological transformation, helping plants and animals grow. Biological assets are living plants or animals. Agricultural produce is the harvested output. Bearer plants produce agricultural produce over multiple periods and are not sold except as scrap.
These definitions help entities classify assets correctly before applying the standard.
Agricultural activity broadly includes crop farming, horticulture, livestock rearing, beekeeping, fish farming, mushroom production, tissue culture, forestry, and even plants grown for pharmaceutical extraction.
So, it covers commercial agricultural activities as long as they involve active human management and economic intent. And what activities fall outside the agricultural activity?
Well, anything without active biological transformation, for example, just harvesting without managing growth, zoo and circus animals, ocean fishing, deforestation, natural forest without human intervention. In these cases, Ind AS 41 does not apply.
Interesting. So, the standards apply only where biological transformation is actively managed and intended for sale or production.
There are detailed examples in this standard showing when Ind AS 41 applies and when Ind AS 16 applies, especially for bearer plants and produce that grows on them.
Correct classification ensures correct accounting, and this avoids serious errors. How are bearer plants treated?
Bearer plants are treated like long-term assets, property, plant and equipment under Ind AS 16. But the produce they generate, fruit, leaves, latex, is measured under Ind AS 41.
So, the plants and its produce follows different standards.
Some animals are not biological assets under this standard. For example, animals used for plowing and carting, guard dogs, zoo and, or circus animals, racing animals, laboratory animals, pet animals.
So, not all animals fall under Ind AS 41. When can biological assets be recognized?
When the entity controls the asset, expects future economic benefits, and can reliably measure its fair value or cost.
These criteria ensures the financial statement reflects real, measurable resources.
Biological assets are measured at fair value less cost sell, both initially and subsequently. Agriculture produce at the point of harvest, fair value less cost to sell.
And once the fair value is adopted, switching to cost is not allowed.
This ensures consistency and reflects real-time market conditions.
So, what happens when the fair value is difficult to determine?
In such cases, cost less depreciation and impairment can be used. Also, cost may approximate fair value when biological changes are minimal. Biological assets can be consumable, like livestock for meat or crops, or bearer biological assets like dairy cows and fruit trees.
And this classification affects how they are recognized and measured. How are fair values changes treated?
They go straight to profit or loss, both at initial recognition and subsequently. This creates volatility, but it reflects real market conditions.
Very important for analytics and investors.
Government grants related to biological assets measured at fair value are accounted for under Ind AS 41. Grants related to bearer plans follow Ind AS 20.
And unconditional grants are recognized when receivable, while conditional ones are recognized when conditions are met. What disclosures does this standard require?
A lot, including gains or losses, physical changes, price changes, risk management strategies, restrictions, pledged assets, commitments. The goal is to ensure complete transparency. Entities must present a reconciliation of biological assets, opening balance to closing balance, covering purchases, harvest, sales, and fair value changes.
This gives users a clear picture of how assets changed during the period. What if assets are measured at cost?
Then the entities must disclose why fair value is not reliable, the valuation range, depreciation methods, useful lives, and carrying amounts. Events like disease outbreaks, floods, or droughts must be disclosed because they can significantly affect biological assets.
These events have major financial implications. And if fair value becomes measurable after being unreliable,
The entity must disclose the reason for the change and the financial impact. Entities must disclose the nature and extent of government grants, unfulfilled conditions, contingencies, and expected decreases in support.
essential for evaluating long term sustainability. This conversation makes it clear Ind AS 41 captures the dynamic living nature of agricultural assets.
Thank you for joining us. Understanding Ind AS 41 is crucial for transparent and meaningful reporting in the agricultural sector.
Thank you.
Thank you.